Hi. So, once again, the internet cut out. Um, I'm about to go and make Verizon a list of videos to watch where the internet cut out. So there was a part two where wasn't supposed to be. Yeah, I know you're probably saying, aren't they a phone service? Well, yeah, they got home internet too. And usually they are very good. They're very reliable, but lately, I don't know what's been going on. I mean, we weren't saying anything important or anything. But that's not the point here. I wasn't done yet. Um, I mean, am I really ever done yet? But, so before the internet cuts out again, please go on Amazon and check out my books. On every single one of my videos that are coming out, for the last few days. This is September 30th, if you haven't noticed. Um, this is September 30th, 2025. So, on every video, like from the 25th on, maybe not the 25th. Um, well, okay, we'll just say from today on, we'll have I think I set that up yesterday or the day before that. So, we'll have a set of links in the description, 6 links for my 6 books, and you should be able to find every single one of them by clicking on one of those links. So, please go on Amazon and check out my books. I would love it if everyone would buy my books. Also, my books come in hardback, paperback, and ebook, which, yes, can go on a Kindle because that's who makes, Amazon makes the Kindle, and they make ebooks for the Kindle. But they can also go on, as far as I've noticed, they can also go on, like your computer or your tablet, iPad, whatever. Um, anyway, I bring that up because somebody was asking me, can I put this on my Kindle? And I'm like, I think so. Pretty sure. I think I said yeah, and then I said, I think so. Because unless I am totally certain, I will not say yes. I do not like being wrong. I really don't like being wrong. So, but anyway, like I said, they come out in hardback, paperback, and ebook, and I think they're lovely. And there's going to be a 7th book coming. I say soon. I think it will be soon because I finally got to page 100. And usually when I get to page 100, then I get to page 200 pretty dang fast, and then I get to page 300, and then, yeah, it just snowballs from there. This particular book has 346 pages or something like that, and the one that I'm working on has 346 pages, and please don't let that stop you from buying it because it's a good book. And it's even better if you read Esperanza's Party and The Island before reading Lessons in Love, but I don't think you'll have any problems catching up if you just read Lessons in Love. But Lessons in Love is not out yet. The ones that are out yet are the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 1 Pirate's Daughter, or it may just say Pirate's Daughter. Um, I can't remember if I fixed it or not. I think, and I'm pretty sure I fixed all of them so they say the whole entire title. The Rolling Sea part of it is the series, and then it's part of the beginning of the series, so I called it Beginnings, and then that one's book 1, so that's why book 1, and then it's Pirate's Daughter, and then there's the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 2, Misfortune. Oh, Pirate's Daughter is the story of how Morgan got onto the ship. And then Misfortune is how her boyfriend Hayden got onto the ship. Well, pre him being the boyfriend and post him being the boyfriend. And then there's the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 3, Hard Times. That says how the first mate William got onto the ship. Then there's same series but separate section, the Rolling Sea Traitor Book 1, Esperanza's Party, and the Rolling Sea Traitor Book 2, The Island. Those both introduce some characters that haven't been introduced into the story yet, or will be introduced to the story. Or have been introduced into the story as babies. I can't remember right now. I think William's story either gets it up to the point where Cat gets introduced, but I don't remember if I haven't listened to that one in a long time. That's one of the ones that I need to work on next. I was working on, what am I doing? I was working on, I'm like working on Esperanza's Party and I was working on Esperanza's Party, and then I was working on The Island, and now I'm working on Lessons in Love, because those are the ones I'm like super passionate about. Those have Sean and Ashley, and the whole thing flows from one book to the other. It's not like the first 3 where it's it feels more like it's got a beginning, middle, and then and an end, and even though there's more to it, it just feels like there's an end, But I tried to make it like, okay, this is how this person got on the ship, and there is more to it. Please keep reading, That's what I tried to do. And I think I did a pretty good job. I'm not confident because hardly anybody's buying my books. But like I said, I did make one book sale from Japan, so I was like really happy about that. Well, uh, the one that says JP, so I'm assuming Japan. Um, I know, never assume. Never assume. Especially if you're like in a mountainous area and you're assuming that there is more land right in front of you and there isn't. Like that, um, if you've ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean, um, the one where it's just Jack Sparrow, it doesn't have any of the other characters, and, and and they've got a mermaid and a preacher, although I don't think he did a very good job. You know, he seemed like one of those preachers that uh like needed to rethink. You know, like he needed to have a good long talk with God. He was stuck on a pirate ship, tied to the mast. And he wasn't even tied to the you know the part of the mast that you're usually tied to, the one that includes the deck. He was up on it. He was up on like the crow's nest kind of thing. Um, so at one point they're having a big battle and uh, and they're trying to figure out, is he with them or is he against them? And he goes, "I'm neither one." And Jack Sparrow says, him being on the fence like that is kind of, that's like kind of part of his job. He didn't say it in those words, but, it's basically what he said. So, anyway, one of my books, I've got inspired by that scene. I got inspired by it. So, it's not exactly the same storyline at all whatsoever. But I did have the ship's preacher. That's not the one that comes directly after. That's not the one that comes directly after Hard Times. That is Finding Love, and I really want to work on Finding Love after this. Um, so he was telling his stream, because my husband's streaming too. Um, he was telling his stream that the first few books, um, and there's got to be um not 20 of them, but there's going to be a few where they introduce certain characters, and most of the characters have, I mean, some of the characters have, long and involved storylines, but some of the other ones, they don't have hardly anything at all. Like, I was trying to, I was, I'm still trying to write a story about Mitch. And part of Mitch's story is that, uh, he, his dad's in the military, so he's, stationed at this one base or whatever. And so he's going to high school for the first time at one point, and he's grown up with these uh he's grown up with these friends. One of them is Rachel. And so I'm going to call her Karen, but I don't think that's what I named her. But anyway, Rachel's friend Karen is like, don't you ever dress up like anything else? Because it's, Halloween. And so they're having the, you know, letting you dress up um, before the Halloween dance. Yeah, dress up in your costume for school. And, before they go to the Halloween dance that night or that Saturday or whatever. I don't think I actually came up with the Halloween dance, so I probably ought to. But anyway, Rachel's like, I like it. But, like, Mitch would like to dress up in something else, but his dad always chooses his costume, and he explains that. And, the girl that said, don't you ever dress up like anything else, is like, okay. And, like I said, Rachel's over there going, I like it. But, if Mitch would have thought about it, he could have left the house in a military officer's outfit like his dad wants him to be. His dad wants him to be a military officer because his dad, like, was not an officer. He was, a lower rank, whatever it was, and he only got to that point, and he's, like, trying to live his dreams through Mitch. So, like, he's dressed up as a military something, a military personnel of some kind ever since he was, probably a baby. Well, anyway, fast forward several years later, or not several years later, but a few years later, and Mitch is going to college with Hayden and Jake and Jason and wait Hayden, Jake, Jason, Josh, Peter, and he's number 6. Okay, yeah. So anyway, he meets them while trying to get a job, and they all end up having, this big apartment together. It's got 3 bedrooms, but each bedroom has enough room for 2 beds. And so Hayden's room is like all nautical stuff on one side of the room, and then there's Australian cowboy stuff on the other half of the room, but nautical stuff too. Like maybe a barometer that is a ship steering wheel. Is there a Oh, well, the whole thing is called a helm. I mean, it's called the helm, but I think the steering wheel is just called the steering wheel. I don't know. If you know better than I do, please let me know. What is that one? That one is Minecraft, right? Yeah. Okay. And before it ends again, before it just dies again, 120. Okay. Hold on. It helps if you put the correct vowels where they're supposed to be. No, wait, yeah, this is 120. Okay. Okay, let me put it this way. Instead of an I put a U. And that was not okay. Really? Okay, yes, I changed that to 21. Awesome. Yay! Okay. Minecraft, games I like to play. Done. Done. Thank you. Just a sec here. Well, a few of them. Um, we'll upgrade it to a moment. There you go. That makes more sense. Tomorrow is October 1st. I cannot believe that. Wow. So this is Minecraft. So on some of my videos, or, well, it's gonna be like on these videos from here on out kind of thing. I will be putting in, okay, I always put 3 playlists and, the subscribe button. That's just, the thing that I do. So the first one, the upper left one, will always be, for now on, will always be whatever video I am, whatever playlist goes with the video that I just made. Well, then and should be normally every once in a while it would be something different because like if it's not Minecraft Monday, I'll just choose a random video because I like I like to do the video games on for videos, but I just screwed up with that. But the air show was what was it, this past weekend or the one before that? Yeah, we think the one before it. Um, I messed up though because I was recording sideways to what the phone wanted to record. And screen rotation was on, so it should have recorded it correctly, and it didn't, and I don't know why, but whatever. So I did screw up on that, but now I know for next time, just put the phone right and don't worry about it. Even if it has the litter box junk on either side, it'll be a lot better than it being sideways. So, anyway, yeah, because the Nevada Day Parade is coming up. It's going to be coming up on November 1st. And as soon as, assuming that I get up in time, and I know I'm going to, but assuming that I get up in time and everything, we're hoping to get me, well, I'm hoping to get me a chair of some sort so I can sit in that, because last year I don't know what was going on, but my legs were getting shaky and I did not like that. So I ended up sitting literally in front of the bandstand because everybody was telling me that I was in their way. And then 3 million people, it seemed like, were walking past my video. I don't mind that so much as long as they keep going and don't stop. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge to anybody that lives in Carson City and is going to watch the parade this year. um, yeah, so need something that I could sit in. Like I don't want the $50 model. I would be perfectly happy with the uh I mean it would be nice to have the $50 model with the um the umbrella attached and I'm in the shade. That would be really awesome. But actually you don't want to be in the shade when you're recording um when it's that cold outside. You want to be in the sun. Okay. And then that. And then we'll go back over here and do this. We're taking this out too. There we go. Yeah, we're trying to make as normal as possible. And we're, you can see that we're making this into like a roller coaster kind of thing. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so I was telling you that on my videos, I always, that could work too, but it doesn't look right that way. See, I don't remember having to step up to go, to go across and go into the house. And I may do something silly. I was just thinking about doing something silly and making like really high grass on some of these houses. Um, so you can do an Easter egg hunt, but I'd have to have a chicken leave the eggs and that kind of, well, like a I'd have to have a chicken leave a bunch of eggs in each yard, but then I'd have to have like a bunny, you know, put a bunny in one of the yards, and then we'll like have a bunny in each yard, a rabbit in each yard, but like show him as he's running around the corner. So, it's like, where's the rabbit? Where's the Easter bunny this time or something like that. I think it'd be cool if we could pull it off. Of course, it would be even cooler if I could get permission to uh to put art or the whole thing an Easter Carol in here. An Easter Carol is a VeggieTales movie about Easter. And I personally think that it tells us the Easter, it tells a more Easter story than the bunny, ooh, I love the bunny, or whatever the words actually are. That might be the words, but it doesn't sound right. So I'm sorry, big idea, if I got the words wrong. But I do love the VeggieTales. Well, I love a lot of VeggieTales movies. I don't love them all. Some of them are like I don't get it. Like I wanted to collect them all. I still do. I want to collect them all, but I don't like all of them. I think Sumo of the Opera was one of the ones that I was like, I don't exactly like, but don't quote me on that. I haven't seen it in a while, so let me watch it again and see if I don't like it, you know. It's not like I don't like it, it's just I don't want to watch it like 600,000 times. You know, like for some reason I like watching Madame Blueberry even though I totally make fun of her. Yeah, I'm so blue blue. I'm not sure why they did that, but yeah, it's a great song. I like it, but you know, I go and do a bad impression of her on purpose. I do the you know, I don't do the impression necessarily on purpose, but I mean I do the like I try to recreate it and I know I'm not doing a very good job of it and I don't go and try to fix it, you know. So it feels like I'm doing a bad impression on purpose. But yeah, it's like why? But kids love it, so I'm sure kids are like, "Mount Blueberry!" And then maybe that inspires some kid to, sing opera instead of rap or rock and roll or heavy metal or whatever. Like I hope that I seriously hope that um watching Darcy Lynn will get kids to maybe try ventriloquism. Although, if you think about it, ventriloquism can be really good. Like having your puppets and making them sing and stuff. Um, but when people begin to rely on the puppets, that's your thing. You're the puppet girl. Then they don't think of you as anything but the puppet girl, and that's typecasting, basically. Typecasting is actually you played a cowboy in this thing, and you did a really good job, so you're a cowboy. And that's all they want to go and make you out to be is a cowboy. And what if you want to play Clark Kent and Superman? Or or what if you want to be an action hero? Or what if you're like Elvis Presley and you wanted to do serious acting roles and they're like, "You're a singer. You're singing." You know? I don't think that was very nice what they did to Darcy. They're like, "The puppets are your thing. Stick with the puppets." And it's like, I don't need the puppets anymore. It's like a kid when they're very little, they need their teddy bear, and then they start going to school and get friends and stuff like that, and they don't need that teddy bear as much anymore. Hold on. Hello? If they. Hey, but at least it was a silent one. I give them 10 seconds to respond. If they don't talk to me, then they're out of here. But I'm trying to answer it because I do have an application out there for an outside job, outside the house job. And hopefully I'll get that one because it's literally just down the street from our house. Um, oops. Driving myself crazy with that. Okay, I haven't used that in a while, so let's do that. Ah, grr, arg. So if you remember where I got that from, if you remember where I got grr arg, then you get brownie points. If you can remember what part of the... I can't do that. We will do the doors... Okay, we're going to do the doors this way. Even though they should really be the other way, but we're going to do them that way. Because otherwise I'm going to lock myself in the house and have to go... Why did I do that? I have to go out the window. There. Okay, and then we'll just do public and hit publish, but it's not going to go right away. Okay, there we go. Now we're all caught up on videos again. So I've done... What have I done today? I did Backgammon, Roblox, Theme Park Tycoon 2. That is the only thing on Roblox I've played since our son told us that they banned somebody. Okay, so like somebody was grieving, and instead of banning the person who was grieving, we don't know what part of the game that they were grieving on. They didn't have details, or he couldn't remember the details at the time. Hold on, another spammer. Hello? Good. Don't want to talk to you anyway. Anyway, we don't know which game in Roblox, but the guy that was telling about the griefing got banned instead of the guy who was doing the griefing. We will go and, like, if we're playing GTA and somebody is going around and blasting people and all that, we vote to kick. We don't play around with that stuff because that could have been us. And I know me personally, and I remember that happening to us back when on probably the Xbox One version. And, my finest moment, I was not on with the rest of them. Uh, no, maybe I was. No, because I was on with you guys. When I did the. Well, anyway, whatever happened, we all ended up in this one spot. Um, I want to say down the street from the beach. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, we all ended up in this one spot. And. Um, and this guy was just blasting the heck out of us, killing the whole entire group. I know, not good to talk about that on a Minecraft stream, but killing the whole entire group, and then finally, I think it was I had been playing Minecraft and I snuck onto the server when the griefing guy wasn't watching, and I happened to spawn to where I could see him, he couldn't see me, and I blasted him out of the sky with an up and down miser. And then he got off because it's like, oh, there's somebody more, uh, more powerful than me. And so, I got him with the up and down miser. I thought that was so cool. Now, if that was nowadays, it would have been rocket launcher. But still, I thought that was so cool. I blasted him out of the sky. I rescued the guy.